Hey everyone, welcome to another paint pouring video. In today's video, I am doing a pendulum pour, this time on a Lazy Susan. I picked up a Lazy Susan over the weekend and I was super excited to give it a try. But it turns out doing a pendulum pour with a Lazy Susan is a lot more difficult than I thought. I spent about 3 hours painting today. My first two paintings I scraped off and started again. You can see here, you can see the black, how much it is being scraped off, and there's like paint everywhere. I ended up wasting so much paint. Now I'm gonna have to go back to the paint store and get more floetrol. I used up all my floetrol today, but I think it was worth it. The end result I'm pretty happy with. There's a part on there that I wish that I hadn't touched, and I ended up having to scrape it off. But that's a really great thing about these negative space pours is if you don't like a bit, you can always just scrape it off and pretend like it never even happened. Anyways, so I managed to get cells without swiping this time around. I don't know what I did differently. I certainly didn't really change my formula at all, so I don't know why I got cells right off the bat, but they're actually really great cells, so I'm quite happy with that. You can see those two little tendrils at that bottom right corner. My big issue with those two things was the fact that there was so much paint. I had a feeling that if I had just left it as is, they would have cracked and looked horrible when they dried. But I couldn't tilt the painting too much because I really wanted to preserve the cells in the ribbon part at the top. So after I messed with it and decided that I didn't like what I did when I messed it around with it, I scraped it off and tried to put some black paint over it. And I thought I was going to be okay with having the silicone on there. Like you can see how like bubbly it is. That's because there's all this silicone mixed in with the black. But I didn't really want to take the chance of it drying badly. So I decided to scrape that off completely and try and get rid of as much silicone as I could from that bottom corner. And I put some clean black paint on there and just smoothed it over. I mean, I wish that I was able to keep those two tendril things that were on that bottom right, but I had to move them around because originally they were sitting way too thick on the canvas, and if I had just left them as is, it would have dried really badly. And I just did a really bad job of messing around with it, so I think that ultimately the painting looks just way cleaner and way nicer with it completely scraped off. And, you know, I'm completely in love with this stripe across the middle. The cells that I got on there are awesome. And I love this organic sweeping motion that I'm getting with this pendulum. And I guess it'll just take a little bit more practice to use this pendulum and also the Lazy Susan. I mean, I consider myself fairly coordinated, but this was an entirely new level for me. Anyways, that's about it. I'm going to give you a little close-up here of my cells. I hope you enjoyed watching my video. If you did, remember to hit like and make sure you've subscribed and hit the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.